Welcome back to Hire Your VA podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Smith, the PVA, and today we're diving into something that might surprise you, and that is how much time do you really have versus the time you think you have. And if you haven't listened to my episode on time debt, you'll want to listen to that one as well. In that episode, I talked about how entrepreneurs often borrow against their future time, saying yes to projects and commitments or tasks that drain their capacity later. It's basically thinking you can borrow time, but you are never able to get time back. Therefore, you simply go into debt. Well, work always seems to get done, right? If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you know how to get things done. But what happens when work gets done, but your personal life is neglected? Does anyone besides me remember the song Cats in the Cradle? You may have to be of a certain age. It's actually quite a sad song, and not just because of the father's behavior, but because the son he taught grows up to be just like him. So if you haven't heard the song, it's the story of a busy father who prioritizes work over his son. And it's really designed to serve as a cautionary tale about making time for family and the painful reversal of roles as children grow up, mirroring their parents' busyness. And the last verses of the song are so chilling. It is, and as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And here's the thing, we produce what we are. And when I heard those lyrics as a child and even a teenager, I knew the father in the song was sad. As an adult, the words are even more bitter. Parents don't want their children to be just like them. They want them to be better. They don't want them making the same mistakes and certainly not taking on their worst traits. And when this song came on, my dad would always remind us that when he was at work, he had to be there. There was no other place he'd rather be than with us. And I knew he meant it because he always made time for us. Work was done when work was done. And my dad prioritized family over work. He was a father to 3 and a brother to 13. And every single one of his brothers and sisters, along with me and my siblings, never doubted for a moment that anything was more important than family. He died when he was 50 years old. I will be 50 this year. Every year, 50 gets younger as it pertains to my dad and how young he was when he died. He never lived long enough to retire, and I'm glad that never was his mindset from the beginning. He lived, loved, and prioritized like every day was his last. And we don't have to be talking about death for each of us to take our time seriously. At the beginning of the new year, everyone is excited and has a brand new, fresh year right in front of them. And even though there's likely a lot you want to accomplish and can accomplish for this year, before you start the year, you need to start with a reality check. And that reality check is, how much time do you really have? People like to say, we all have the same 365 days in a year. But if you run a business, you don't really have 365 working days. Let's do some math together, and I promise it will be easy because I'm not a math genius, so this is going to be simple. Start with 365 days. Now subtract weekends. That's about 104 days gone right away. Now you're down to 261. Take out holidays, federal, religious, or personal. Let's say you take out 10 of those. Now you're at 251. If you take 2 weeks of vacation, that's another 10 working days. Now you're at 241 working days in a year. And that's assuming you never get sick, never attend a conference, never lose a day to travel, errands, appointments, or family obligations. If you really start calculating your actual focused working time, each year it might be closer to 200 days. And within those days, how many sessions can you have? How many speaking engagements? How many coaching days? Workshops? And that's on top of all the essentials that have to get done, but that are simply the cost of doing business. So we're talking about the invoices, the emails, the proposals, the intro calls, the onboarding, the strategy work, travel plans. If you are writing a book this year, that's a whole new time frame to consider. I won't even get into that on this one because that is a completely different animal. You will have far less time than you think. So the best way to protect your time is then to reverse engineer it. And you might do this in your work right now and with your clients, right? You go from the end. Where do you want to be? And then let's work backward. It's great. Just most people don't do that with their calendars, but they should. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to work backward from January 2027. And the reason this kind of yearly calendar blocking is so impactful is because it utilizes your sense of urgency. Think about the last time you went on vacation or had to have a hard stop, right? You were getting on a plane, you had vacation, you had to take one of your kids somewhere. You just knew that there was no room for error. So think about how you meticulously and carefully worked that day. The meetings that you may have postponed until after you returned, or that the email that you wouldn't even return because it was not a high priority today. Think about how intentional you are with your time on those days. And it's because you are so keenly aware of what needed to get done and by when. This kind of planning does the same. We take into consideration Parkinson's law that says work will expand to the amount of time you will give it. And when you see your year realistically and with awareness of actual working days, all of a sudden your work is the most productive it can be. I do it with clients all the time, and we kind of just do a hack in the beginning. And not everyone gets on board, but I'll say, okay, remember that time you went on vacation and how dedicated you were that week and how you said nothing, no one, all meetings postponed, don't add anything up, and how diligent you were and how productive you felt? You can do that all year round. So now open up your calendar, and I want you to scroll ahead to January 2027 and ask yourself, will I be working on January 4th? Or will you have come back from vacation and need to catch up? Don't be afraid to put catch-up days on your calendar. It's fine to ease back into work. Think about, what do you want my business to look like then? Ask yourself, what do I want my business to look like then? You can't create something that you don't have clarity around. Now ask yourself, what do I want my role to be? If you don't know where you want to be and how you will be working, you won't know who has to fill in those gaps. What do you not want to still be doing? I know that's a weird way to say it, but what do you want to get rid of? Think about that. How soon do you want to make that happen? When do you want to make that reality? Once you have all that in mind, you can start working backwards. And if you have roughly 200 working days in a year, that is 200 opportunities to move your business forward. On the other hand, it's also 200 opportunities to get distracted by things that don't matter. Here's what we're going to do together. We are going to mark the non-negotiables on your calendar. And we're going to do that now, right? So even if you already have an assistant, you need to mark these times off, put them on the calendar, place holds, do whatever you can. Family trips, holidays, birthdays, conferences, anything that's already spoken for, block it off. If you know you're going to take a vacation, you take a vacation about the same time every year, but don't know the days yet, have a space on your calendar for 2 months ahead of time to start booking that vacation. Mark your deep work days. These are the days you'll work on your business and not in it. You know what I'm talking about. If you commit to just one deep work day every other week. That is 26 focus days a year. I know people who spend tens of thousands of dollars to go away, and that's not even including travel to get there, to go away and work a focus day. You have 26 that you could give yourself, but you got to plan them. And by working backward, you stop chasing time and start designing it. I love this exercise. When I do this exercise with clients, something always clicks. Like they just realize they're not out of time, they're out of alignment with their priority. And notice I said priority, not priorities. That's because priority is a singular word. All of your priorities should fit under the umbrella of your singular priority, which typically leads back to your why. And I know that can be hard. I know it can be challenging. I know that you have competing priorities. I take all those very seriously. But that just means there is a bigger priority that they all fall under that you haven't realized or recognized yet. And I'll tell you, my singular priority is family time. Nothing is greater for me than that. And if I protect that family time, I protect everything. Every deadline is met. Every meeting is purposeful. Everything I do has a purpose. Because when you see your time in available black and white, you start to make better decisions. You stop overcommitting. And you stop waiting for the perfect time. You start asking, what's the best use of my time? What's the best use of my limited days? What's the highest value work I could do today? And that's where hiring the right virtual assistant comes in. If you're always just kind of going back and forth and letting other people dictate how you work and jumping every time someone sends an email, that doesn't work. Someone else is designing your business for you. Now, think of your milestones, mark them. What do you want to be done by March 2026? Maybe you want to hand off scheduling by that. By August, it's your inbox. And by the end of 2026, all client onboarding. Create real deadlines for yourself. This is how you create real urgency. And if you know that that has to happen by such and such a date, then you know I need to start this by such and such a time. If you think it's going to take 90 days for someone to be ramped up and as good as you are on client onboarding or on scheduling or on emails, then you need to hire someone at least 90 days before. And a VA doesn't save you time, they expand your capacity. They help you turn your 200 working days into something that feels like 300, 400, or even 600. So here's what I want you to do after this episode. I want you to open your calendar. If you've been driving or doing something else while listening to this, come back, start over, do it again. Work backward from January 2027. Take a clear look at every week. Be honest with yourself. Are you going to be working the week of Christmas? Maybe you don't even celebrate Christmas, but your audience does, right? Start to think about that. Count your actual work days. Start to think about vacation. Build in buffer times. What is your busy season? You know it. Make sure that you have vacation and time off planned before and after. Identify 3 things you'll stop doing and at least 1 thing you'll hire the right VA to do before the end of this quarter. I'm telling you, time is ticking. And you need a sense of urgency, not because things won't get done, but because you could do so much better for yourself. And if you are not sure where to start, maybe I've overwhelmed you already. You're already too busy to do such a thing. I get it. Download the PVA self-assessment podcast. Use the PVA interactive hiring book. They will help you clarify exactly what you need and the right VA to take care of those needs. Time isn't infinite, but it is flexible when you plan it with intention. And if you would say, Melissa, okay, I love the resources. Thank you so much. But I still don't have time. Can you just do this for me? Yes. Reach out to me. We'll have a conversation. We'll get it taken care of. You do not have to keep living in time debt. You can start designing the life and business you want today. One block, one day, one decision at a time. It's not meant to be hard. If you're doing it the hard way, let's try doing it the easy way. A coach once said to me, have you ever thought there could be an easy way? And I looked at him and said, no. He said, well, maybe the problem is you're not looking for the easy way because you just assume it has to be hard. And it doesn't. I'm telling you, when we work together through this calendar exercise with me as your guide, we can do an entire year together, month by month, week by week. And when we get off the call, your entire year will be planned for everything you want. I do not believe in giving my clients homework. There'll be no homework for you. You don't have to show up with anything. I tell you right now, if you send me an email, you want to work together, let's do this. We'll work together and you will find out how much time you really have. All right, thanks for listening to Hire Your VA podcast. Thank you so much. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, leave a review, share it, and just let me know. Let me know how this is for you. Let me know what you did. If you completed the exercise, let me know how it went for you. What did it reveal to you? I am here for it. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.